So let's disassemble our weapons and continue with our part 2 of whenever this video is. So we went over this top section, which if you can grasp this section 100%, you're well on your way. So first thing you need to understand is that there are two parts. Sylenth 1 is two-part multi-timbral, so you have your part A and your part B. And that's kind of important when it comes to your filter routing, if you want to focus on that. So keep in mind this is all modular, so oscillator A and B, or no, oscillator A1 and A2 go into the amplifier, and then the amplifier goes into the filter. And the filter, you can either have just part A go into the filter, or part A and B go into filter. So you can have two parts sharing the same filter, so it shares the same filter, and that's pretty cool. So we have our input, we can completely bypass it. So yeah, for now we're gonna have part A going into filter A, and now there's right now it's completely bypassed, so nothing's happening at all. I'll press a key here. Nothing's happening at all. So then we move up. We have our low pass, which is a basic of the basic the filter, similar to the ones of the Moog and the likes. It lets all the low frequencies through and cuts the high ones off, and you can adjust the threshold here. Pretty neat, eh? So there's basically two controllers or operations of a filter. It's the cutoff and the resonance. The cutoff obviously cuts things off, as we know. You know which one to select if you want to make noise. The resonance boosts the frequency at the cutoff point. Which is pretty neat. And yeah, that's pretty awesome. So now we have our Bandpass, which does exactly what it kind of looks like. It passes bands. It selects a certain narrow band of the frequency and just lets that through. And then we have our high pass, which is the reverse of a low pass, by the way. And then that's it. So we have bypass, low pass, band pass, high pass. There are a thousand other filters, but we'll get that later. Drive kind of emulates the warm kind of distortion that certain analog filters have, and we can play that right. Oops. You boost it up, and it can be kind of loud at first, but after a while, it kind of becomes you. And then you can get more aggressive resonance. So now you have your part A completely nailed. Now this is going to go into the filter control, which is basically another filter stage, but it's not. But it alters filters A and B, and that way you can control both of them, and they have a nice little warm kind of drive. It's really interesting, the routing and the coding that went into this. Still don't quite grasp it myself, but I like to turn this knob, or this button on, and with this you can really boost the resonance. And make it sound real nice. So, the same thing as before, cutoff and resonance. Key track, that's what we haven't gone into. Key track, what I use it for, what I've kind of developed to use it for is, say, if I have a particular tone that I have achieved, with a particular type of resonance. So, like, say, like that. If I move the cutoff up and down, kind of change it and automate it, I won't know where to go. Like, I can't go back to find where that particular tone was. 9 times out of 10. So what I do is I use the key track. And I can always go back to where it was. It's kind of like say if you were just tweaking a TV 303, you have your envelope amount, I believe it's called, and that's always set at 0, and then you move that up and down, and you can always go back to where you were, if that makes any sense. So what I'll do is I'll open that right up. So this effects section, you can dick around with yourself. What I like, I don't really like the Arpeggiator, because Ableton has one. Phaser sounds nice on a good day. You can really get some evolving stuff. Chorus, yeah, of course. The EQ, it's okay. The delay, I use the delay to feed into the reverb. And yeah, that's basically your effects section. I would usually just use an Ableton Arpeggiator and Ableton effects most of the time. So now we're gonna get into a bit more advanced stuff before I take a nap. So you kind of know how an envelope works, right? This isn't an envelope for the amplifier from the both oscillators, right? But with this one, nothing is kind of selected. So we're going to select something. Yeah. What we're going to do is we're going to select the cutoff of A, filter A, right? We're going to move that down. Oh, well, nothing's happening. So remember I said you only use 2 of the 4? So we're going to move the attack up. And that sounds all well and good, but the ending, it just kind of ends. There's no continuity between this effect and the rest of the effect. So what you do is you just move the resonance, or the release, up, right? And then you move the sustain up. So the effect is sustained. You have a nice kind of, I don't know, pluck That's one way to do it. You can also change it to your pitch to see some really weird stuff. Oh, it's inverted, so yeah, you can do a bunch of weird stuff. So we'll move that back to our cutoff. Another thing we can do. So that's your envelope, and you can move that to basically anything. You can adjust that to anything. So our LFO is basically another oscillator that moves at a very, very slow rate. So you can't even hear it, but what it does is it affects other things. So what we'll do is we will pitch that, select the gain, move the gain up to about there. So it's going up and then down, but it's very, very slow. So what we're going to do is we're going to speed that up. What we can do is we can have it very subtly to add a bit of vibrato to which is also quite nice. There's another LFO, and we can change the pan. And just do a bunch of weird stuff. So this bottom row is all effects, and these effects can do some neat things which are completely controllable. But you always start at the top, you work your way down. Know your routing, understand every part, and then just learn and work your way down. And it's pretty fun and rewarding once you get there. And yeah, that's it for today.